بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of Mafatih al-Hayat by Ayatollah Jawadi Amali Hafidhahullah, and we are going to continue the discussion about social engagements, and in particular how to interact with scholars, with teachers and seekers of knowledge, learners. So for today, we talk first about the merits of seeking knowledge and seekers of knowledge and how much they are loved. And then we'll talk about the fact that seekers of knowledge can do shafa'ah, they can intercede. Not only ulama can intercede, even tullab and seekers of knowledge can intercede. And then we will talk about the reward for honoring seekers of knowledge and the reward for helping and assisting seekers of knowledge, and then about the punishment for annoying and harming seekers of knowledge. This will finish our part about how to interact with scholars and teachers and seekers of knowledge. Then after that, inshallah, we will talk about how to interact with your colleagues and partners in the work. Okay, so let's start with merits of seekers of knowledge. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Talibul ilm afdalu inda Allah من المجاهدين والمرابطين والحجاج والعمار والمعتكفين والمجاورين واستغفرت له الشجر والرياح والسحاب والبحار والنجوم والنبات وكل شيء طلعت عليه الشمس." I don't think there is any way to emphasize more on the high rank of the seekers of knowledge. Talibul ilm, bughatul ilm, for example, in the hadith we have inna Allah yuhibbu bughat al-ilm, means those who search for knowledge, seek knowledge. Maybe you don't become necessarily an alim, but what is important is that you have put yourself into that path of committing yourself to learning. Maybe you have other commitments, maybe there is no opportunity, maybe it's, I don't know, you think it's too late, although it's never too late. But at least commit yourself to some regular study, even if it is 2 hours a day, even if it is 1 hour a day, even if it's half an hour a day, so that inshallah little by little you learn and you get more tawfiq to allocate more time, inshallah. As I have said sometimes in different places, I think today with all the facilities that we have, which will make life for most of people easier. You don't need to walk 1 hour to reach, for example, your work. You don't need to go 1 hour to get water and then another hour to bring it back to your village. You don't need to bake your bread. There are lots of facilities that we have, and also lots of resources are available. And thirdly, lots of questions and challenges and issues. When we consider these three, I think every person, every Muslim today should at least 1 hour a day read, study, attend lectures, have discussion. 1 hour scientific work, 1 hour study at least every day. If one day you cannot, the next day. So it means 7 hours per week, 30 hours per month. This is the minimum. And I think 99% of people can do that. If we are organized and punctual and disciplined, we can do. So let me translate for you the hadith from Rasulullah. Rasulullah says, Talibul ilm, the seeker of knowledge, is better, more privileged in the sight of Allah. Afdalu indallah. People may underestimate for different reasons. People may have different calculations. But Rasulullah says, Talibul ilm afdalu indallah min al-mujahideen wal-murabiteen wal-hujjaj, and the rest. Better than those who do jihad, struggle for the sake of Allah. Mujahideen are important if they do it for the sake of Allah properly, wise. If there is a real case of jihad, because many cases of jihad today in the world, unfortunately, are not really cases of jihad, like ISIS, these type of people. But even if there is a real case of jihad, if this person, this mujahid, has not been searching for knowledge, has not been learning, there is no guarantee that they may not actually harm more than benefiting. Or next decision they make, maybe today they are right, but in tomorrow they go to the wrong direction. So Rasulullah says they are more privileged in the sight of Allah than mujahideen wal-murabiteen, those who are defending our borders are very important. Those soldiers who protect our borders, they don't let enemies invade our territory, our home, our country, our city. They're very important. But who is going to protect the borders of our aqidah, the borders of our faith, the borders of our sharia? If a country is not attacked physically and the borders are not crossed, but the enemy has managed to take over their culture, their aqidah, their akhlaq, their manners, and basically duplicate himself in them, then what's the benefit of being physically safe? This is why in the hadith of Ahlul Bayt, ulama are introduced as those who look after the intellectual, theological borders of the community. So, also better than Hujjaj, Ummar, those who do Umrah, Mu'takifin, those who do Itikaf, Al-Mujawirin, those who go and even live in Mecca, and trees, winds, clouds, seas, oceans, stars, plants, and everything sun has been shining on, will ask from God to forgive seeker of knowledge. Then about being loved, Rasulullah said, Talibul ilm ahabbahullah وأحبه الملائكة وأحبه النبيون ولا يحب العلم إلا السعيد فطوبى لطالب العلم يوم القيامة. The seeker of knowledge loves him, Allah. Is loved by Allah, loved by angels, loved by the prophets. And no one loves knowledge except as-sa'id, someone who is fortunate, someone who has sa'ada, felicity. Not someone who is shaqi, who is going to have miserable life, in the sense that a kind of life which is not fortunate physically or spiritually or religiously. They don't love knowledge. But as-sa'id, the one who has felicity, the one who has fortune in his life or her life, the one who is well oriented in his life, loves knowledge. In another hadith, Rasulullah said, "Man arada ridai falyukrim sadiqi." Whoever wants my pleasure, whoever wants that I would be pleased with him or her, should honor my friend, my sadiq. قالوا يا رسول الله من صديقك? He said, "O Rasulullah, who is your friend?" He said, "صديقي طالب العلم وهو أحب إلي من الملائكة." He said, "My sadiq, my friend, is the seeker of knowledge. And the seeker of knowledge is more beloved to me than angels." Angels are very lovable, very dear. But a person who is committed out of his taqwa, out of his interest in pleasing Allah, out of his interest to improve himself and his family and his community, is committed to learning and then sharing and preaching and practicing, is more lovable to Rasulullah than angels. If we have millions of angels, they cannot do what a true alim can do, or even what a true seeker of knowledge can do. So we have to have proper way of judging and evaluating. We should not underestimate people who study, who have dedicated themselves to study. It can be, of course, any kind of useful study. People who are students in universities, in colleges, but for sure, every person has to study his or her faith, because this is a common responsibility and a common need and a fundamental need. If I don't know that much about certain sciences or certain, I don't know, disciplines, I might be exempted. I might not be, questioned, because I know to some extent that is reasonable, and then other people take care of it. But all of us, doctors, engineers, teachers, drivers, cookers, housewives, every person has to know his or her faith and to follow the path of the Prophet, and Ahlul Bayt, the path of the Prophets, the path of our godly scholars. So these are sadiqs, these are friends of the Prophet. Then Rasulullah, in a hadith that ISLAMIC quotes in Irshadul Qulub, says that seekers of knowledge even have the ability, the right to do shafa'ah. They can intercede. إن لطالب العلم شفاعة كشفاعة الأنبياء. A seeker of knowledge can do shafa'ah, can intercede like the prophets. Any person who has taught this seeker of knowledge. Any person who has discussed with this seeker of knowledge, any person who has helped, who has respected, who has honored this seeker of knowledge, any person who wanted to learn from this person, they can do shafa'ah for them. Then about the reward for honoring seekers of knowledge, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man akramahu faqad akramani." Whoever honors a seeker of knowledge has honored me. وَمَنْ أَكْرَمَنِي فَقَدْ أَكْرَمَ اللَّهِ. And whoever has honored me has honored Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَنْ أَكْرَمَ اللَّهِ فَلَهُ الْجَنَّةِ. And whoever honors Allah would have heaven. In another hadith, Rasulullah said, وَمَنْ صَافَحَ طَالِبَ الْعِلْمِ. If someone shakes hand with a seeker of knowledge, حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ جَسَدَهُ عَلَى النَّارِ. Allah would prohibit fire to harm the body of this person. When you, out of love, out of respect, out of appreciation, in order to encourage, in order to give moral support, you shake hand with a seeker of knowledge, then inshallah, if you don't have big problems, inshallah, you will be safe from the punishment of fire. About reward for assisting seekers of knowledge, Rasulullah said, "Man a'ana talib al-ilm faqad ahabba al-anbiya wa kana ma'ahum." If someone supports seekers of knowledge, he has loved the prophets and would be with the prophets. So my suggestion is that if you know in the community or people from community in the houses who are studying, and then of course also other students of Islam, but especially those who have dedicated their life to learning and studying, if you know them, make sure that their needs are met with maximum honor and respect. And also, if you don't know them or you have means to support others, then find some channels, some ways to support students, to support talaba. Alhamdulillah, in our major houses, there are thousands of people from all over the world. Some of them may need our moral support. Some of them may need our financial support. Some of them may need help with different things. So Rasulullah says, "Man a'ana talib al-ilm faqad ahabba al-anbiya wa kana ma'ahum." Whoever helps seekers of knowledge has loved the prophets and would be with them. And then he continues and reaches this point. وَإِنَّ طَالِبَ الْعِلْمِ إِذَا مَاتَ غَفَرَ اللَّهُ لَهُ وَلِمَنْ حَضَرَ جَنَازَتَهُ. If a seeker of knowledge dies, Allah will forgive him and forgive those who have attended his funeral. But now, if God forbid someone annoys and show enmity to seekers of knowledge, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man abghadha talib al-ilm faqad abghadha al-anbiya." Opposite to what we have. If someone dislikes the seekers of knowledge, he has disliked the prophets. He has showed lack of respect to the prophets. فَجَزَاؤُهُ جَهَنَّمْ. So sometimes there is a personal issue that can be different. But if a seeker of knowledge, because of being a seeker of knowledge, is humiliated or insulted, or even if it is a personal problem that you have with someone, but the way people see is that you are annoying seekers of knowledge, then this is a kind of warning that you must immediately stop this, because this is something that can be taken as a sign of having problem with the people who have dedicated their life to religion, like prophets. There is maybe, for example, an alim in a city. Maybe with this alim I have a personal problem, has nothing to do with his role as alim. Maybe I am neighbor and I have problem with him. Maybe we have two partners in business, we have a problem, not problem with him as an alim, problem about our business. But do I have right to question him and attack him and assassinate his character in front of others, in the public, in the community, in the masjid? Wouldn't you harm his ability to continue his services? So you have a personal problem. It's not that, na'udhu billah, you hate ulama, you hate speakers, for example. No, you don't hate seekers of knowledge. But even if you have a personal problem, you have to be careful. If you have a problem with a madrasa teacher, okay, should you bring it to the madrasa? Should you bring it to the knowledge of children, so that they would lose their respect in the teacher? Maybe they end up with not going to madrasa, maybe they end up with not learning anything about their faith. So we have to be very careful not to let our personal problems with people damage their social position, especially if they have high responsibilities for teaching people manners, teaching people religion. Of course, those people who occupy these positions also have to be extra careful. I know that. Ulama, tullab, seekers of knowledge, teachers, volunteers, people who work in the community must work hard to be the best examples of what they say and teach. I know that. But at the same time, we have also to do this. We cannot make this conditional upon that, because then everything goes to worse. I should respect ulama, I should respect teachers, I should respect elderly members of community, I should respect volunteers in the community. They also should improve. But if I say I don't offer my respect and assistance unless they reach a satisfactory level, they become exemplar, okay, if I don't support them, if I don't respect them, how would they reach that position? And what are we going to lose in this time? So everyone should do his or her job properly, so that inshallah we all, with love, with support, with kindness, inshallah improve, and all of us become inshallah pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, alhamdulillah, we finished this section. Inshallah, in the next session we will talk about two groups of people, because our discussion would be not too detailed. One is about your colleagues and partners in the work in business, and the other is how to interact with the people who are ill, who are patient, especially in this time that there are many people who suffer because of this epidemic. That would be very relevant. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all our maraja, our ulama, our teachers, seekers of knowledge, all people who work in the community for the betterment of the community, all people who are involved in charity for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in order to improve the conditions of the lives of people. May Allah inshallah bless all of them. May Allah bless all of you. May Allah bless all the people who are fasting, who are praying, who are respecting and honoring the months of Ramadan. And may Allah inshallah enable us to witness Laylatul Qadr. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.